Thank you, Chairman. Thank each one of you for your participation. To Zeya, I'd have a question regarding our critical health programs such as PEPFAR that has been demonstrably extremely successful, has saved millions of lives. This network has saved millions. It has provided a strong health system that protects Americans domestically and abroad by detecting and responding to health threats before they can spread as a core American value. But in recent months, we've seen concerning decisions that have undercut America's global strength and put people at risk, whether through staffing shortages, funding delays, or unclear directions amid the evolving State Department reorganization. I've gone to several countries most recently, and one of the pains that I have to hear is that there's food in the bins, there is HIV medicines, there's malaria vaccinations. We have employees that are stuck abroad. They cannot return home, American citizens, and they cannot distribute the food. Given this overwhelming success of these programs and their vital role in our global strategy, how do we ensure that the integrity, effectiveness, and bipartisan support are not only preserved but strengthened?
Thank you, Congressman. I think you've explained well, what some of the chaotic impacts have been of the decisions we've seen since January. And I would just add on this point that these health programs are not a giveaway. This is all about the well-being and the security of Americans. If we learned anything from 2019, it is that pandemics know no borders, and the impact can be absolutely devastating from an economic and a personal perspective. So again, with PEPFAR on the cusp of, by 2030, eliminating HIV/AIDS as a global scourge, to pull the rug out from life-saving antiretroviral programs, but also, it's come up a few times today with respect to the inherent dignity of all human beings, including LGBTQI plus persons. The delivery of these life-saving programs to these communities is absolutely critical in our public health approach, but it isn't just HIV/AIDS. It's Mpox, it's malaria, it's Ebola, which I was part of an effort under the Obama administration that helped contain the spread of Ebola in West Africa through a multi-country US-led effort. So all I can say is that I hope they take a hard look at the impacts thus far. They consult with the partners whose own operations have been decimated by this lurching effort, but also with the communities that have benefited from this for years, and try to turn it around.
Thank you. One other question I would have for you, DEIA and fellowship programs. I was startled to see a group of students in my office one morning that had their scholarships cut from their foreign service careers, and they were primarily African American and Hispanic students. Very specifically, at one point in my life, I served on a Fulbright program and a scholars program. And so it's just very clear that Black students have been cut out, eliminated from careers that have been introduced into foreign service. What have you seen to be the value of such fellowship programs, particularly targeting and being inclusive to bring in minority students? The Fulbright has not been touched. That primarily has a lot of Caucasian students. But the Payne and the Rangel scholarships that have been outstanding African American members, those scholarships have been targeted and cut. Can you please elaborate? Is this consistent with our values?
Thank you for raising this. These fellowships, which include the Pickering, Rangel, the Payne fellowships, they have long been the subject of deep-rooted bipartisan support. And I just want to say, these are not DEIA fellowships. These are not quotas. They're all about merit, but they're also about casting the net more widely so that more bright students from across the country, in terms of geographic representation, in terms of different backgrounds, have the opportunity to consider, and also the financial support to be able to pursue their education at the undergrad and graduate level and contribute to the department. And over more than 2 decades, I've seen some incredible diplomats come through that program. I was frankly shocked by the cutoff and the impact not only on the students involved, but on our department, as this has, I think, been a proven magnet for great talent and excellent diplomats.
Well, Zeya, I thank you so much for your contribution, your continued support. And under the Students for Fair Admissions Act law that was adhered to by the United States Supreme Court, diversity, equity, and inclusion is legal in the United States Armed Services. Someone in the administration needs to read the law. If it's good in the war room and if it's good at the United States military academies, it's good in the classrooms, it's good in the workrooms. So we need to make sure we enforce the law. There's nothing wrong about having diversity, e pluribus unum, out of many we're one. There's nothing wrong with having equality, the 14th Amendment. There's nothing wrong with having inclusivity and accessibility so people that have different abilities that may need a wheelchair ramp or other things can have access and have inclusion. I thank you for your years of service and continued success. I yield back, Chairman.
Thank you.